Hello, good morning. Welcome back. Chapter number 3 in paper 1 of anthropology. Chapter number 3 in paper 1 of anthropology. Economic organization. That is, we are going to discuss here economic anthropology, meaning, relevance, and the scope of economic anthropology. After that, there is one bit a difficult thing. Substantivist debate and the formalist debate. You can say the formalist and the substantivist debate in economic anthropology. In fact, there were few great anthropologists like Karl Polanyi, Paul Bohannan, Marcel Chalets, Marcel Mauss. It is they who are very much instrumental in it is they who contributed immensely in the field of economic anthropology. Initially, economic anthropology as such started as the study of primitive economies, the economy of the primitive people. But later on, the scope of economic anthropology became so wide. Now it includes almost every aspect of human economy. It includes anthropology, now includes anthropology of entrepreneurship, business anthropology, etc. So then principles governing production, distribution and exchange. Principles governing production, distribution and exchange, that is reciprocity, redistribution and exchange in communities subsisting on hunting and gathering. Swidening. Swidening means shifting cultivation. You know about shifting cultivation, right? We call it as zoom, J-H-U-M, zooming in the central India. Our northeastern region, mainly is Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, these are very much known for shifting cultivation. Here, what people used to do, they think that fertility of a particular soil will not last for a long time. So they clear a stretch of forest. After clearing the forest, after cutting down the trees, after clearing the bushes, they will plow the land and they will raise a crop there. And they will continue doing agriculture for 3, 4 or 5 years maximum. After which, when they feel that the productivity of the land had gone down, they will abandon that place and they will move to the nearby area. Once again, they will clear the forest and they will do agriculture. If you go by flight, right, suppose if you take a flight from Kolkata to Kohima, and before landing Kohima, we can see a number of small circular patches. These all were the environmental destruction which we have created in the name of shifting cultivation. In the name of shifting cultivation. Once I had a student from Nagaland and I asked him, his name I still remember, he is Dilip. I asked Dilip, have you ever seen such a thing when the circular patches when we reach Kohima? And do you have idea about the shifting cultivation? He raised his hand and he said, sir, I myself have personally did shifting cultivation many times. Shifting cultivation. There is one big debate about the shifting cultivation. If we ask an ecologist or a conservationist, he will say, no, this is something a very evil practice. This destroys the environment. We need to abruptly put an end to the shifting cultivation. On the other hand, if you ask an anthropologist, or even a sociologist, they'll say, no, 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 no. We cannot just do it. It is the way of living. 100% right, we know that the shifting cultivation as an activity destroys the environment. But if you think that outrightly you can outban these and if you can make the people to do settled agriculture, it is not always possible. Because this is almost their way of living. And there are number of rituals, number of celebrations, number of festivals they do, which coincides with the various activities of shifting cultivation. For example, in Tamil Nadu, in TN, people celebrate Pongal. Pongal, right, that is a harvest festival. So the month of January, when the crop comes to harvest, when the rice crop comes to harvest, to celebrate their harvest, right, they celebrate Pongal. They thank sun god, sun for providing all the energy for rising a crop. They thank their cattle, they worship their cattle, which helped them in doing agriculture. And one fine day, suddenly if you put an end, you ask people, no, you should not do agriculture. You all just get employed in the industry. This will, people don't accept this, right? And I'll tell you one very good example that how even we destroy our environment and we take a different stand. Every year we know what happens in New Delhi. In the month of October, November, it starts. The month of October, it starts. When the farmers in Punjab and Haryana, when they start burning the stubbles, slowly we can feel the smoke coming inside the city. And things will become, things will reach its peak during Diwali. And on the day of Diwali, because of the bursting of crackers, there was one particular year where I landed New Delhi the next day of Diwali. Oh my God, New Delhi was looking like a crucible. I don't know where I'm going to land. Is this the city where I'm going to land? I just looking at that, right? It creates such a fear. Oh my God, that smoke in the city. As if we are going to land into some a burning chamber. We also destroy our environment. We also create too much issues in our environment in the name of Diwali celebrations. If government put a ban, no, you should not burn crackers. How many of us will obey? We will not say how we can impose this. This is our culture. We have the right to celebrate. Here we do not bother about the environment, right? So an anthropologist, we cannot think about putting a sudden altogether outright end to this widening or the shifting cultivation. It's very bad. We need to accept. But we cannot put an outright ban on this. We can only educate our primitive people about the pros and cons of settled agriculture. How artificially we can manure. The amount of synthetic fertilizers and chemicals which are available to raise a crop. By doing this right, it will take time. It will take time. Suddenly we cannot put an end to zooming. But almost zooming is almost under control. Close to around 80% of the zooming activity has been brought down. And most of the people started doing settled agriculture now. Okay, it's widening. Fishing, pastoralism. You know about fishing, right? Inland fishing, coastal fishing, deep sea fishing. Pastoralism. Who are pastorals? Pastoralism is a very important economic activity which is found in the semi-arid regions where cattle are the very important source of economic wealth and where people with a group of cattle move here and there. Nomadism is an ecological compulsion here. So that's why we generally call it as a nomadic pastoralism. Nomadic pastoralism. Then agriculture and horticulture. What is the difference between agriculture and horticulture? Agriculture deals with field crops. Horticulture deals with garden crops, vegetable cultivation, fruits cultivation, floriculture, the cultivation of flowers, spices and plantation crops. These all comes under horticulture. And traditionally, wherever we find horticulture, there will be one social condition there. We can also see matrilineality. That I will explain shortly. How matrilineality or matrifocal society. Matrilineal means woman will have a greater say here. Properties will be inherited in the female line. All the important offices will be held by the woman here. And after marriage, it is the boy who will move to the girl's home. So how horticulture is related to matrilineality, that also we will do. Then after that, globalization and the indigenous economic system. This particular thing alone, right, we will not discuss now. We will do it towards the end. After finishing all the aspects of tribal studies in paper 2, then we will come back to this. Because then only you will be in a position to understand what exactly happened to the indigenous economic system. Indigenous self-sufficient economic system. So, starting from colonial period, how the outsiders started intruding into the tribal societies, into the primitive society, and slowly with the development of transportation facility and communication technology, how these people, how the indigenous or native people got slowly, how they got fused into the common society. Back in 1950s, Nirmal Kumar Bose wrote one very fantastic book, The Hindu Way of Tribal Absorption. So how the primitive tribal people got absorbed into the national mainstream, and how they were subject to merciless exploitation. Then finally came the globalization, LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. With that, what happened to the indigenous economic system? There were a number of pros and cons. Few got benefited, few lost their identity, and we do not know where they are. So thus, this particular aspect, globalization and the indigenous economic system, right? This we will discuss towards the end. Towards the end. So now let us start our discussion from this topic. Principles governing production, distribution, and exchange. That is reciprocity, redistribution, and market in primitive society. Simply you can name it as a primitive societies instead of naming individually as hunting and gathering, fishing, pastoralism. Then in the end we will take this formalist and substantivist debate. This is a very famous debate in economic anthropology. Formalist and substantivist. It was the great Austrian anthropologist Karl Polanyi who coined the term substantivism and formalism. So, who are the substantivists? Who are the formalists? And what was the debate? So, that we will discuss towards the end of the chapter. Okay. So, now let us start our discussion from the principles governing production, distribution, and exchange in primitive societies. That is reciprocity, redistribution, and market. Production, distribution, and exchange. Now let us start our discussion from distribution and exchange in primitive societies. So, the ways of goods and services reach the various members of the society, right? That we call it as exchange. Exchange is not that ordinary a thing. The ways by which goods and services reaches the people. So, production of rice. Throughout our country, right, we do not produce rice. Same is the case wheat. Throughout the country, we do not produce wheat. But wherever we produce, right, we have a system of exchange on based on which, right, we move the commodities and we make it sure that the commodities which we produce in some part of the country reaches every single part of our country. For example, tea. If somebody is there in Patna or Allahabad, or somebody is there in Lucknow or Kanpur, I know people write without drinking tea. Tea is something very, very important, right? People keep drinking tea. But we do not produce tea somewhere near Lucknow or Kanpur or Patna, etc., or New Delhi, etc. Tea comes from very few places in our country. For example, the Darjeeling region of West Bengal and Assam. In Assam, right along the Brahmaputra river valley, tea is cultivated even in plains. Even in plain region, right, we have tea cultivation. And along the Western Ghats, in Kerala, in TN, Karnataka is known for coffee cultivation. In Karnataka, there are very few tea estates. Okay. So, tea comes from these simple packets, and we have a system of exchange because of which this commodity gets relocated and it is made available to every single person in our country. I will tell you the importance of exchange. So, for exchange, right, we need to have a system. So, you better know about the great Bengal famine. Great Bengal famine. This great Bengal famine, right, it happened because of the failure of a rice crop. And the rice crop here failed not because of failure of monsoon, not because of a drought. It happened because of one disease actually. It is called as the Helminthosporium leaf spot. In the paddy leaf, what happens? We call it as blade, right? Small, these are bacterial spots actually. So slowly this will spread across the entire leaf. As a result, the photosynthetic capacity of the leaf falls by 70 to 80 percentage. As a result, finally, when the panicle comes, when the rice panicle matures, we cannot see the hard grain inside. Instead, if you open that, only a milky substance will be there. So this particular disease, right? See, most of the famines were because of disease. Most of the famines were because of disease. Even now, the very famous Irish famine. This was a very big famine actually, which created large scale disturbances in Europe. This was because of the failure of a potato crop, potato, and there was one disease called as a late blight. Late blight of potato. See here, there was a huge crop loss, and this crop loss continued for season after season, season after season. We know about the rice cultivation in West Bengal. Cool and comfortable people, farmers here can go for 4 crops in a year, and very easily they raise 3 crops of rice in a year. And this crop failure, right? Repeatedly the crop started failing. On one fine day, right, there was an immense shortage of food grains in the Bengal region. And there was a famine. People started starving for food. And people started dying on the streets. But during this time, it doesn't mean that we didn't have food grains, because this particular thing affected only uh, the then Bengal province of British India. Most of the regions in present day Bangladesh or West Bengal and parts of Orissa and Bihar, they were worst affected because of this famine. But we had sufficient food grains in the other part of the country, but we didn't have a system to move it and to distribute it to the every needed people. And before even government could think before even they could start dealing with the distribution of food materials, the situation reached a catastrophic proportion and close to around 20 million people perished. The Great Famine of Bengal. Great Famine of Bengal. So the crop failure alone was not responsible for the famine of Bengal. It was the lack of a system of exchange which contributed for the major casualties here. Had we had a system like now we have a PDS system. So many speak about why we have this system. We need to scrap this system. Let us scrap this system. Okay, let us give money to the needed people so that let them go and buy it from let us go and secure the product from the market itself. We keep saying, but this is not just a matter of shop establishing a shop here by the government. It is a system of exchange. It is a system of exchange. If there is a shortage of food grains, suddenly right, if rice crop fails in our country, what the merchants will do? They will do hoarding. They will stockpile the food grains in their godown. They will not take it out. They will say we do not have food grains to sell, and they will expect a very high inflation. When the price reaches tenfold, then they will take it out and they will sell it. By the time all our poor people will die. And if government need to intervene, there is a need to have a very strong PDS, a very strong public distribution system. So that is a system of exchange. So we cannot think about scrapping one system overnight. Okay. So now let us discuss about types of exchange. Types of exchange. So exchange means, as I told you, the way by which, the method by which goods and services moves from the producer to the consumer. How it reaches the consumer. That we call it as exchange. Okay. So broadly, right, exchange can be classified into monetary and non-monetary. Monetary exchange and non-monetary exchange. So keep one thing in mind. So most of the content in economic anthropology, right, were made during the first few decades of 20th century and the last few decades of 19th century. So keep that in mind. because with the passage of time, right, maybe after 1970s, 19 after 1970s, most of the primitive societies got or established communication with the greater society. So all the economic aspects, right, started penetrating into the primitive societies also. Now hardly we have a handful of societies here and there, a handful of indigenous people who still follow this primitive way of economic system. Okay, so broadly, exchange is classified into two types: monetary and non-monetary. The one which involves money as a medium of exchange. The another one in which we do not use money for exchange. So first let us discuss few non-monetary exchange. Non-monetary, the most important one being barter exchange. Barter exchange. So what do you mean by barter exchange? If you are completely from an urban area, if you are from, if you are born and brought up in Mumbai, if you are born and brought up in New Delhi, you may not be aware of these things. But in villages, these things are even now common. There will be few markets where people will not use money for exchange. Instead, they will carry some commodity to exchange in the market. So this type of barter exchange, right, was very much common even in our country prior to 1960s. I still remember my grandmother saying that there used to be some weekly markets in our town for which, right, people used to carry a goat with them, hen with them to exchange that for textiles and textiles and food grains, etc. So here, if somebody wants to buy some 10 kg rice, he's not going to use cash here. Instead, he may take some other commodity with him, or he may use some commodity as money here. For example, the Ifugo of Philippines. They use rice as money. The value of every single commodity in the market, right? The value will be based on rice. Suppose if this is tuar dal, if this is black gram, if this is a green gram, if this is a red gram, then the value will be right. This is equal to 1 kg, this is equal to 2 kg rice. This is 1 kg is equal to 3 kg rice. Is 1 kg is equal to 4 kg rice. 1 kg is equal to 6 kg rice. So like that, the value of every single commodity, even cattle, for everything, the value will be based on rice here. The Ifugo of Philippines use rice as a money. Then we have what Tiv of Nigeria. The Tiv of Nigeria use brass rod as a currency. These are special purpose money. These are special purpose money. Okay. So barter exchange means buying and selling of goods using some commodities. Here they will not use any cash. Again, barter exchange, right, this is classified into, there are three types of barter exchange. One is face-to-face barter. Here both the parties will meet. and they will exchange the commodities. And we also have silent barter. The pygmies of Congo, right? They do this type of silent barter with the Hutu. They are agriculturists. The pygmies, right, they live inside the dense jungles of the Congo basin, of the Congo forest. So they are inside the Congo forest, and they are very good hunters, and they used to hunt a lot of animals. The Hutu and the Tutsi people who live in the nearby Congo forest, right, they do agriculture. They like to have the meat. So at least once in a week, right, what they used to do, they expect the pygmies to come out. So what the pygmies used to do, they will hunt a animal. After hunting it, they will extract the meat. The extracted meat, right, what they will do, they will wrap it in some leaf. They will take it to the periphery of the forest, and they will keep it in some area, and they will come and hide themselves inside the bushes. They will wait for the Hutu or the Tutsi people to come there. They will take the meat, and they know how much they need to replace. They will replace that with food grains or textiles or whatever they want. They'll keep it there, and they will go back. These people silently they will go. They will take back, and they will also go. These people are very shy. The pygmies, right, they are very shy to interact with the common people, with the rest of the people. So they are so shy, they will not go and even speak with them properly. If you speak with them 10 words, right, they will say one word. So, most of the indigenous people are like this only. For example, in Karnataka, in the Mysore district, Mysore district, there is one particular tribe called as Jenukurubas. Jenukurubas of Mysore district. They are very shy honey collectors. They are very shy honey collectors. They once they were living inside the jungles of Nagarhole forest. Once when this Nagarhole became a tiger reserve, once it was brought under the Project Tiger, once it became Project Tiger site, and most of these Jenukurubas were forced to relocate. But what the forest department did, most of the tribes were inducted into the forest system, into the forest department. They become low-level workers in the forest department, and they did a very good thing. So the way in which, or to what extent these people are committed to the job, and to what extent they were interested in doing the job and protecting the environment. Once I was there in now this is called as Rajiv Gandhi National Park. So I was there in the national park as a volunteer during tiger census. Early morning we need to go on, we need to look for tiger marks like its pug mark, its scrap mark, and we need to make a note about the plant and other species there. And if possible, right, we can also take a photo of the tiger's cat found here and there. But it is so difficult to spot a tiger, but luckily we managed to spot one leopard in that process. Once, right, we were walking in a marshes. While walking in the marshes, right, what happened? My shoe got torn away, and one part of the rubber came out. And one forest god, who is the tribe, right? He said, sir, please give it to me. He took that. After folding that, he kept in his pocket. We were walking in the marshes for close to around 1 hour. Then after that, right, he made it sure that he disposed of that in a proper place. Saying, sir, if you drop it here and there, animals will come and eat this, sir. They will mistake it for food and they will eat. And it will go and it will clog the throat and they will die, sir. We cannot do that. The commitment which they had over the job. And they are very shy people. They will not speak. It will be very tough to make them speak. The next day, early morning, right, when we went there, the jeep will drop us in a place and that jeep will go. So we need to walk for close to around 3.5 hours and we'll be reaching another place. We'll be making all the observations and the jeep will wait there and they'll pick and they'll come back. The jeep just dropped us on the left and with the forest group, one local tribe will be there. That guy, right, he said, stop, 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 do not go, do not go. Hey, what's happening, man? Sir, elephants, please wait. What he said was correct. To what extent he was sharp. He managed to identify few elephants that are coming from a distance. He said, of all the animals here, elephants are the most dangerous. If a tiger comes, if a leopard comes, I can save you very easily. Say, hi, chuchu, it will go. So please wait. 4 to 5 elephants came there. And we didn't move for next 1 hour. We were forced to wait. Forced to wait for the elephants to leave. They crossed one reservoir. They moved at that side. Then only the person was come, let us move. So we were waiting there for a long time. Meanwhile, I carried some bread, some cakes with them. I opened one Britannia cake and I started giving it to others. And I asked this that Jenakuruba tribe was that guy also. Hey, you can have something and eat this. He said, sir, no, sir, I won't eat. All were eating. I asked him again, hey, why man you eat, man? So it was almost 1 hour. He didn't take anything from me. Hey, sir, what sort of guy? Do you have any taboo? I just asked him. I just got a bit angry. Hey, why we all are eating? What's wrong with you, man? Why can't you eat? He said, sir, without brushing my teeth, I will not eat anything. So without brushing your teeth, right, all the way you are roaming with me here and there. But you cannot eat anything. Very shy people, very shy people they are. Similarly, right, even the pygmies of Congo Basin, they are very shy people and they will not just go and mingle freely with others. They indulge in the silent barter. So they will not meet the people. They'll just know. See, but one thing, this type of exchange, right, is almost traditional and we cannot expect each other to cheat. They will not bring the old meat and keep it here. If the meat gets spoiled, right, they'll make it sure that it will not reach the people. This particular thing, right, we can see among the indigenous people. They'll be true to heart. They'll make sure the meat got damaged, spoiled. How I can give it to them? If they eat right, they may get some stomach upset. They may get food poison, right? But that is not the case with our so-called civilized people. There are few eateries I do not want to name. Whenever I go there, if I go alone, 100% sure they'll serve me the old food. I need to ask them, is this something old, man? Then they will accept. Yes, sir, it is old. I'll give you something else. Okay, so let us continue. So this is called a silent barter. And we also have money barter. I told you, right? The rice money among the Ifugo of Philippines, the brass among the Tiv of Nigeria. Even salt is used as a commodity. In Siberia, tobacco is used as a money. Here, money means they are not going to use our currency. Here, some commodity, right? They use it as a money. This we call it as money barter. Money barter. Sorry, okay with three types of barter? Three types of barter. Face-to-face barter, money barter, and then silent barter. Silent barter. So next, before going into the other types of exchange like gift exchange and the ceremonial exchange, let us discuss integrative exchanges. Exchanges which integrates the society, which unites the society, which unites different culture, which we call it as a integrative exchange. Integrative exchange. Karl Polanyi, he was a great Austrian anthropologist. He's from Austria, not Australia. Okay, Austrian anthropologist. He's from Vienna. According to him, right, he divided he explains three basic modes of allocation. Three basic modes of allocation, that is reciprocity, redistribution, and the market. Reciprocity, redistribution, and the market. So first let us discuss about reciprocity. So reciprocal. If one gives you a tight slab, you give him back. That is reciprocity. And even in modern day economics, we speak about reciprocal commitments. In WTO, in World Trade Organization, we keep speaking about the reciprocal commitments. If one country reduces the import tariff in favor of you, you also do it. You also do some favor for them. Reciprocal commitments. So reciprocity means if somebody gives you something, you give them back something. That is reciprocity. So reciprocity as a type of exchange, reciprocity as a form of exchange is very common in societies, or it's very common among people who are bound by non-market, non-hierarchical. So these are characterized or these are found in societies where people cannot produce economic surplus. No economic surplus. And these are found, see here, right, a non-market, non-hierarchical relationship. At the same time, here they have a very simple technologies of production. So keep this in mind. Reciprocity, according to Karl Polanyi, right? It is characterized or it is very common in society which is not bound, just bound in a non-market. So market means everything becomes commercial here. If you have money, go and buy it. Or if you do not have money, wait for them to provide some offer. And a non-hierarchical. Non-hierarchical means here all are equal. We do not have any centralized administration, or we do not have somebody above you to oversee all the trading activities here. Okay, so non-hierarchical. So these people write they have very simple technologies for production. As a result, they do not have large scale economic surplus. And at the same time, right, they do not produce large scale economic surplus. So where we can find this type of society? I told you about the pygmy of Congo Basin, right? The pygmies of Congo Basin, the Shakai, and the Simang of Malaysia. Even in our Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we have these Jarawas. The Chenchus of Andhra Pradesh. And there are a number of such tribes in Kerala TN border. The Pallians, the Kadars, etc. See, among the hunters and gatherers, right, they have very simple technology to produce. They live by hunting and gathering. They may hunt some animals using their bow and arrow, or they may collect some fruits and nuts or some tubers and honey to make their living. So hunting is not that easy and economic activity. Hunting is not that easy and economic activity. In Discovery Channel, in Animal Planet, you can see many times there will be a number of survival programs where how difficult people will find to hunt a small animal for a meal. Hunting is a very difficult task. And if a society is surviving by hunting, suppose if there is a huge jungle here, and when people indulge in hunting and gathering, as we discussed in political anthropology, this type of economic system will not allow them to live in large group. So people used to live in small group, which we call it as band, which we call as band. So band refers to a small group of nomadic people. So if one band is here, if another band is here, one here, one here, one here, usually all them are kinsmen. They may belong to one lineage. So hunting is a very economic activity. Here resources are totally unpredictable. One day there will be a large number of animals they can hunt and eat. One day, right, there will be one day we will not know what will happen. The animals will go missing everywhere. And under these circumstances, right, there will be large scale cooperation among all the people here. As survival against the environment here, survival in the environment itself is difficult here, right? So, people will not fight among themselves. In fact, there will be an extraordinary amount of cooperation among them. Suppose if people, if they from here, right, they go here, and if they fail in hunting, and when they come back, be very sad. If the people here, right, if they watch them going back very sad, immediately they'll stop them. Please stop, stop, stop. What happened? You couldn't hunt anything. See, I asked you to watch that movie, right? The gods must be crazy. I hope you might have watched that movie by now. Please make it sure that you watch that movie once. In that, our hero, our bushman, what he will do, he carries that Coke bottle to throw it out of the world. So from his desert, from his tribal village, tribal hamlet, he starts moving, and he goes into the other urban center, large civilizations, etc. Where he'll be crossing one village where civilized people will be there. One day he'll be very hungry. He will see one goat running. He will take his bow and arrow. That animal will fall down. He will run to the animal. That time, right, the owner of the sheep, The person who actually rears the sheep, right? He will come running. He will come running. When you look at him, right, running at a great speed, he asks him, "You come slow, come slow, come slow. There is sufficient meat for everyone. You come slow. There is sufficient meat for everyone." He had no idea that he is the owner. But that guy will throw the sheep over his jeep and he will pull him into a police station. Police will come and arrest this guy. See, instantly what comes in his mind? Come slow. There is sufficient meat for everyone. This is the thing about the hunters and gatherers. But we cannot expect this among the civilized men like us, civilized people like us. We just want to have everything with us. With that, we will not be happy. We will also make it sure that others will not have anything. Then only we will be happy. Here, so once if they come to know that some other group they have failed in hunting, they'll make it sure whatever they have hunted, right, they will share with them. Because some other day, right, they will starve and they need help from others. So struggle against the environment itself is a very big struggle. So people here, they will not fight against each other. So wherever people live by hunting and gathering, this will be the condition. Keep this in mind. Okay, fine then. So reciprocity, right, is generally found in this type of society where they have very simple technology to produce. A simple technology of production. They do not have large scale economic surplus. And the society is a non-hierarchical and non-market. Non-market and non-hierarchical society. Everyone consider each other as equals. No one will think I am superior and you are inferior. I am eating goat, so I am superior. You are eating hen or chicken, so you are inferior. I am superior. Nothing like this. Here they all are equal here. They all are equal. They give equal respect to everyone. Okay. So this Marshall Chalins, he gives three types of reciprocity. So generalized reciprocity means generalized reciprocity. Here in generalized reciprocity, even Malinowski calls this type of exchange as pure gift. Here, somebody is giving something to others and he will not exchange anything in return. He will not exchange anything in return. This is called as generalized reciprocity. Here, whatever somebody gives, right, he will not expect the other person to return that to him. This we call it as a generalized reciprocity. Malinowski calls this as a pure gift. Okay, so this type of a pure gift, right, is found among many indigenous societies where people will not expect somebody to return. I told you one example, right, among the hunters and gatherers. So if they give that right, they will not expect these people to come and return that back to them within a stipulated period of time. So whatever given right, it goes as a gift. Among the Hopi Red Indians, right, The Hopi Red Indians live in North America. So they also live by hunting, and if suppose if they find one particular group of people, if they are suffering because of failed hunt, it is a duty of the others to go and provide them with all the subsistence needs. You do not worry, we are here. We are here to help you. And these people will not expect them to return anything back to them instantly or within a stipulated period of time. No. This we call it as generalized reciprocity. Malinowski finds this type of reciprocity among the Trobriand Islanders also. I hope now we should be okay with the Trobriand Island, where it is, why Malinowski went there, and what he was doing there, etc. Correct? Okay. So next is balanced reciprocity. So in balanced reciprocity, what our gift is given, right? It need to be returned back within a stipulated period of time. All gifts given need to be returned within a stipulated period of time. If not, this may affect the relationship. This may affect so whatever peace they had. This may disturb the social equilibrium. I'll tell you one example in modern societies where we practice balanced reciprocity. See, even now, right, in villages, not in villages, even in town cities, people used to do. If some of your relative comes there to invite you for your for a marriage in their family, so on that day, right, you will go there. We'll provide them some gift, maybe in the form of gold or money, gold or cash. So after, excuse me. So after whatever gift you provide, right, they will come back to home and they will make a note. Okay, I went to this person's marriage and I have provided him gift worth 5,000 rupees. Then if invitation comes from some other family, again you will go there. Okay, 2,000 rupees. Next family, 3,000 rupees. And when there is some function in your home, right, what you will do, you will go and invite them all, and you expect all of them to come back to come to your function, and we expect them to return all those things. So you gave him 5,000, right? We'll just check how much he is giving back. Yeah, 5,000. Okay, good. And if they didn't return, right, this will create some friction in the relationship. This is one example for balanced reciprocity. And even in indigenous system, even in primitive societies, right, where people do not have economic surplus, or where people are bound by non-market or non-hierarchical relationship, even there they have this type of balanced reciprocity. This balanced reciprocity, right, it serves some purpose like affirmation of corporate alliance. So there may be some alliance between people, okay, that they may go jointly for hunting, or they may go jointly for taking some expedition. So here, whatever gift they give, right, they need to return it back to make it sure that other corporate alliances stands. Then for peacemaking, and also for marital alliance, balance reciprocity. The next one is negative reciprocity. Negative reciprocity. So negative reciprocity, this is an unsociable extreme. Unsociable extreme. That is here by the use of force, by coercive power, if somebody takes a property from somebody else, this we call it as negative reciprocity. Okay, stealing or using power or force to grab the things from others, right? This is called as negative reciprocity. So generally, right, there will be some sort of violence associated with this type of reciprocity. So here somebody takes somebody else's property or money by using force or coercion, and we cannot expect them to come and give it back to them. They may not be so good. So this is negative reciprocity. Hope you are comfortable with three types of reciprocity: generalized reciprocity, balanced reciprocity. Generalized reciprocity, here the giver will not expect the taker to return the gift here. In balanced gift given need to be, or gift or whatever product exchanged need to be returned back immediately. And in negative reciprocity, one cannot expect that. So, but are you okay with reciprocity? So, reciprocity, the most important thing which we need to remember here is reciprocity is this type of exchange is found among societies which are bound by non-market and non-hierarchical type of relationship. They have very simple technology so that they do not produce economic surplus. Next is redistribution. Redistribution. So redistribution as a system of exchange, right, is generally found in societies where the people are tropically asymmetrical. That means here not all the people are equal here. It is not all the people are not equal here. So there may be some sort of social distinction. We call it as social stratification. The society may slightly be stratified here, and here people are managed to produce a marginal economic surplus, a marginal surplus. People manage to produce marginal surplus here, and they will also have a system of authority, a centralized authority. So, but still, right, the society is yet to become a full-fledged market system here, a full-fledged market system here. Here, people just manage to produce a small-scale economic surplus, a small-scale economic surplus, and the society is slightly ranked now. It is a ranked society, or there's a system of ranking and a small amount of stratification. A minimum amount of stratification. So under this system, what happens now? Whatever people produce, it will reach an allocative center. From where it will be redistributed. For example, suppose you can take on this small flow chart to understand this. A, B, and C are the production centers. So A produces say X, B produces Y, and C produces Z. This X, Y, and Z produced by A, B, and C will move up towards an allocative center which is D. D is the allocative center, and D, what they will do, the allocative center, this is the authority here. They will collect it and they will redistribute it to from D, the commodities will be redistributed. So for this type of system, right, you can just take this flow chart for redistribution. So the most important aspect of redistribution is here, the society now it is marginally improved. It is not like our old primitive society where people do not have any technology to produce any economic surplus. So slightly these people are capable of producing economic surplus, a marginal surplus, not too much of surplus, a marginal surplus. And the people are slightly asymmetrical. That means yeah, a small or to a minimum extent, social stratification also occurs here. And there need to be a centralized authority who can have a command over the people so that they can direct the people to submit the products which they produce to the allocative center. So in the allocative center, when they receive the products, they will ration it and they will redistribute it to the people again. So this is called as a redistribution. Okay. So redistribution occurs when now the most important thing which to remember here is now the society becomes marginally capable of producing marginal economic surplus. A marginal economic surplus, tropically asymmetrical, that is a stratified society and having one centralized authority. These three are the prerequisites for a society, for people to have redistribution. Next is a market. So what is market? So market, right, the term market can be used for a wide variety of settings. So market as a system of exchange, right, can be seen where people are capable of producing large economic surplus. So if they are producing large scale economic surplus means they should have a sophisticated technology. Here market is generally called as a mutually satisfying exchange. Here right, people will bargain At the end, right, both the buyers and sellers, they'll be satisfied with the price. They'll be satisfied with the margin they get. This is market. So market, right, market as a system of exchange evolves where the technology have grown to an extent that people can produce a large scale economic surplus. At the same time here, right, because of the technology, there is a proliferation of craftsmanship. As a result, now the specialist can produce a number of products which a layman cannot, which ordinary people cannot produce. And here the society will be stratified. Society will be stratified, will be stratified. So here, the most important thing which you need to know here is about the market is market as a system of exchange evolves in three important conditions. Number one is economic specialization. Number two, proliferation of craftsmanship. And third one, enlarged complex society. I will tell you how, I will now explain you how this particular system evolves. See, earlier we discussed about the hunters and gatherers who were living in a jungle. So now take the same example. So there is one small band here, one small group here, one group here, one group, another. There was a time when these people had no technology to produce economic surplus. They had no technology to produce economic surplus. So struggle against the environment itself was a very big struggle. So they had lot of cooperation among them. They never used to fight among themselves. So this was the condition. Suddenly between right one group of people, let us say this group of people. So this group of people alone, right, somehow they managed to learn the art of doing agriculture. So what they did, that they cleared some section of the forest and they started producing food grains. I tell you, earlier when they were doing hunting and gathering, every single man in the group, right, need to go there. They need to wait for the animal, they need to run behind the animals, and they need to hunt and come back. But now, once when they start doing agriculture, right, there is no need for everyone to go and do agriculture. Only during clearing the forest, only during plowing and transplanting season, right, we may need the labor of every single person there. And once when the crumb comes up in the field, say a handful of two or three people, right, they can go there, they can do weeding, they can do transplantation, they can deal with the pests and diseases. So there is no need for everyone to go and do work in the field. At the same time, now they are capable of producing food grains which they can store for a long time. So season after season, right, they'll be accumulating the food grains. These people, right, those who are next to them, they will be looking at them. On one day, right, when they have a failed harvest or failed hunting, they will ask them, can you give some food grains? They may provide one season, two season, three season. After that, they may think, why should I give you free? Can you do one thing? You just come and do work in my field. You come and do work in my field. I will teach you how to do agriculture. You do that so that you can take some portion of the food grains you produce. And these people, right, now they are not going to do any work. They have surplus food grains with them, surplus economic production. That gives them a lot of leisure also. Now they can sit and think many things. And they have made these people to go and to work in the field. They are not working now. So maybe after 3 or 4 seasons or 3 or 4 years, these people, right, They might have learned the art of doing agriculture and they may think about moving to the nearby area to clear the forest to do agriculture. But by that time, what these guys will do, they might have trained these people. Hey, you also need food grains, right? Why you are going for hunting, man? You train yourself to fight. Soon we need to fight against these people. And when they think about moving out, right, these people will make it sure that using these people using them, they'll make it sure that they will remain as their slaves. No, you go and do only agriculture. If you go there, we'll cut your hand. We'll cut your legs. We'll chop off your hand. See, now we have what? Three class of people. We have one group of slaves here, land owning class here, and fighters or warriors. Slowly, this guy, right, he'll be looking into the situation. Oh, such a thing is happening. If you go and do work in the field, that's it. They will just catch hold of us and they will not allow us to do any other work. So what we shall do, they have surplus food grains. We need to take it from them. So what they will do, they will specialize themselves into some art and craft. Okay, let us become a blacksmith or a carpenter. They need to make tools, right? They need tools, they need weapons, they need furnitures. Let us provide this service to these people and let us specialize only in doing this activity so that with every successive generation they'll become more and more skilled, more and more, because throughout their lifetime they'll be doing this and their kids will be growing up seeing this thing and they'll be in a position to improve it over time. So with the passage of time, with the passage of generations, they will become specialists in they'll become a specialist blacksmith or a specialist carpenter. Here, this guy will become a specialist warrior. He'll make it sure that he learns all the art of warfare. Another group, right? They may specialize themselves in making pots, mat making, pot making. One group, right? They'll specialize themselves as a medicine man. All this happened because of technological innovation, agriculture, and surplus production. That's why wherever we see civilizations which are based on agriculture, if agriculture was the predominant economic activity in a civilization, the society will be stratified. Now this is a large complex society now. So people are technologically sophisticated. So within some 5 or 6 generations, right, this blacksmith will be capable of producing some fine quality knife or a chisel which an ordinary people cannot make. This guy will specialist in ceramics, or the way in which he is going to make a ceramic plate, right, common man cannot make. So this is responsible for a market system. Now a market system will come into force where these people can bring their products here and they can sell it. So market as a system of exchange occurs in a large complex societies which are capable of producing large scale economic surplus. Who are capable of producing large scale economic surplus. Okay, so now let us discuss about the tribal markets.